Quiet on set. Picture is up. All right, roll sound.
Rolling.
Roll cameras.
Cams rolling.
And 3, 2.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Happy Thanksgiving, and guess what? We're back in the tank, ready to do a good podcast. I got a great show for you today. Mark Hogan's on my left.
Howdy, everybody. Good to be back.
There you go. And we've got today Matt Gray. And Matt is running for Montgomery County Commissioner Precinct 4 position. And when is the election?
Early voting is going to be in February.
Early voting in February.
March 1st, election day.
Awesome. Good to have you in, Matt. I want to thank your guys for facilitating this meeting, and it was easy to work with everybody and get you in here. And I'm interested in hearing everything you got to say.
Thank you, Hank.
So,
proud to be here.
Yeah, why don't you start by giving us a reason why you decided to run? So, I mean, there's a lot of different positions out there, and we've interviewed a lot of guys in Montgomery County. So, how come county commissioner?
Well, Hank, I'm born and raised right here in New Caney. I'm an 8th generation Texan. When we were talking offline a while ago, like I mentioned, my family got here late 1800s in this area. I grew up right down the street, and I love it. The place is growing fast at an unbelievable rate. And
yeah, Montgomery County is just blowing up in it.
It's blowing up. And, you know, a lot of it's good. A lot of it doesn't feel good. And I think I've got a lot to offer.
Yeah.
I just don't think the boys clubs and the inside baseball's working anymore, and I think I can bring some real world experience from the private sector and some of my education, some new energy, my age, and I think I can make a real difference around here.
Well, say that you are successful for Precinct 4 Commissioner. What would you consider your main goal for your first term? First thing you want to attack?
Well, the main goal, when we first get in, it's going to be, there's going to be a lot of challenges, actually. So the drainage, that's always at the forefront.
Right.
So we're going to be constantly working on that. And Montgomery County, especially East Montgomery County, has been an untapped resource off of Houston for years.
Right.
And so we've got all these people running straight up the 59 corridor, up this pipeline, wanting to develop, clear cut, put it in a pile, dump 100 gallons of diesel on it, and flick a match.
Yeah.
You know, I'm wanting the people to have a little higher expectations for your community leaders, for your commissioners, for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to hold the developers to a higher level. You know, I'd like to work more with the county engineers and these developers and work to get better drainage around here for starters.
Right.
I think we can do better on the roads, and I'd like to be that more conservative vote on Commissioner's Court.
Okay. Yeah, drainage is a big issue, especially with the citizens out here. You know, we've been through a couple of floods, and everybody's kind of had it with drainage. And
Yep.
And there's some big concerns, you know, from a lot of these larger developments that are coming out. And so, because, you know, whenever you start pouring a lot of concrete somewhere, the water's got to go somewhere. So, I guess you'll be working with your city engineer or the county engineers and to ensure that we have good drainage, right?
Oh, yes, sir, absolutely.
And that's going to be a learning curve for you, I think, for a little while, you know, because you're going to have to get it figured out.
It will be.
But, yeah.
And I'm not running for county commissioner. I ain't God. I ain't going to be able to make it stop raining or stop flooding in areas, but
right.
I will throw the kitchen sink at it. I've grown up around here. You know, I've got a lot of experience, a lot of real world experience. Grew up around the county. My stepdad retired from the county after 30 years.
Okay.
And so I've got a lot of great contacts who've worked on these kind of issues and these problems around the county.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm the guy to tackle them.
Right. And we checked out your website, and I know that you dealt with a lot of large scale projects in the past. So you've got some experience under your belt, too. That's going to help a whole bunch.
Yep.
So that's great. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Okay. So, what do you think you'll be able to do to better support the local emergency service departments, you know, like the fire departments? Because here's the thing with Montgomery County, and I don't think a lot of people understand this, especially our fire departments and our ESDs and our medical units are all really being stressed by the amount of population. And so what will you be able to do to help those guys out and maybe to help to, I don't know, increase their budgets, give them better equipment, things like that?
They do have a central dispatch now. Is that right?
Yeah, there's a central dispatch, and it all goes through Sheriff Rand Henderson's office, you know, and it gets doled out that way. And really dispatch, even though they're a bit stressed also, I don't think that's where the issue lies. Where the issue lies is that, you know, you've got ESD 7 and ESD 6, I think, which is Porter, and they do have interlocal agreements, and they have some overlapping. And so, you know, as commissioner, I mean, how would you look at that and put those types of things together to help the ESDs and, you know, ambulance services and stuff like that?
Well, I think the big answer here, Hank, is communication. So meeting with those fire chiefs, meeting with those boards, being available and accessible by the community and those guys is going to bridge a lot of those gaps that we're having.
Right.
So as I sit here today, I can't sit here and tell you this is the plan to fix that for those emergency services. But I think a lot of those issues that we're having, like I said, can be fixed just by talking.
Go to the source and see what the needs really are.
Yeah, finding out what their biggest problems are and how to solve them.
And I think that's a lot of
good.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of the issues that they're finding with the current staff and administration, and that's what I'd like to open up and improve. Right. So,
and they would also address the budgeting for the police departments of all kinds around here.
Correct.
Equipment, manpower needs for a growing area.
So there's a lot of other issues just besides that as far as the emergency services. We're outgrowing the roads in all these neighborhoods. You know, trying to get fire trucks back in a lot of these places, even back where we're at now. You know, it's a big challenge. So we've got it's no easy task, and we're growing. We're just going to have to keep putting that money to good use and put our heads together and have a plan. You know, communication and planning, and then executing that plan is how we're going to get it done.
The tax base is growing, and they want something for their tax dollar.
That's
for
right.
Sure.
Yeah.
How would you connect with the public?
Yeah, because see, that's another big deal. I think, you know, and part of the reason why we do this podcast is to try to provide some voter education. Yep. So the voters can know who they're voting for, you know, they're not just voting for a name or a cool logo, you know, or something like that, a slogan, but they're actually getting to know the individual. And so I think once elected, it would be amazing to be able to continually connect. And so do you have any thoughts on that? Or
yeah, so that's a great question, and I'm happy you asked, because that's one of the big reasons that I wanted to run for county commissioner, because I think we're lacking in leadership in this county. So I want to be available to the government oversight committees, work with the MUD boards, you know, the emergency service boards, MSED, the sports associations in East County, find out the needs and be there and be present and have an open door policy. Right now, if you show up at the county, you're met with a plexiglass, and it's just hard to get through. So you know, when we get in office, one of my first goals is, and I'm not running a campaign and making promises, but I'm planning on getting that demoed out. We're going to put a counter in there, and you're going to be able to come in and talk to the commissioner, and we're going to get that open back up. So
I noticed a quote on some of your promotional stuff, and I like it. It's I'm running for commissioner, not your politician.
That's right.
You know, I like that.
I appreciate it. Well, I think we're at a place in this country where we're all tired of politicians, and we're all tired of politics, and you know, we're tired of career politicians and seeing the same old faces. Let's shake it up, bring some new experience, some new blood in here, and do some good, man. I think there's a calling for all the way to the top. If you can't do something in Washington, you need to step up and try to do something locally. I
think it all should start from local.
Yeah.
Local politics is everybody's politics.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a place where you can make a difference. You know, we're pawns when it comes to what's going on in Washington. There's nothing we can do, you know, but we can make a difference locally. And the more local you get, the more of a difference you can make. So even in like your city council and things like that.
Yeah, everybody gets tied up in the presidential election, and about half the people can tell you who the governor is. And the closer you get to home, who's on the school board, you know?
Right.
And that's what really matters.
Yep. school boards, the fair association, city councils. And when I go do all this stuff, I try to drag buddies with me, because there's a whole web, there's a whole community that you don't see. It just looks like the people, but these are the people that are holding the community together.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That sit
Your
on all this
neighbors.
stuff and making decisions. You know, these are the neighbors and the people around us. So it's a lot of people that, you know, been doing it a long time. So I think the younger group needs to get involved and get educated on it and get to know it and step up. Try to step up and do some good.
Okay, yeah, you had mentioned MSED. How will you work with MSED to ensure that their city planning and development, economic development projects are the type of projects that the citizens want? Because I believe that, you know, and MSED does a lot of good for the community. They really do. It's a good organization, but I do think that they found themselves off the tracks a little bit sometimes. And I think that where their economic development is concerned, that sometimes it's not in the best interest of the actual community members. You know, it may be what they think is the best interest of the county as a whole or their footprint as a whole, but I'm not so certain that they take into account, and I'd like to think that they do, but it's almost been kind of proven to me that they don't always take into account the citizens. So how will you work with those guys to ensure that, you know, the citizens' voices are heard when it comes to bringing in various different types of businesses? Like, just for instance, let's say they wanted to bring in something like a refinery or something like that.
Yep.
Which I don't think's on the books at this point, but could be. So, you know, how would you answer something like that?
I think it goes back to my original comment a while ago, being available.
Mm-hmm.
So being present, being available, talking with these folks, understanding what's going on and putting it out to the public. I'm surprised often, you know, by things that are being put on or things that they're spending money on or the tax breaks, you know, big companies are getting.
Right.
And, I want to be more available and involved with that and weigh in on it. And basically what you're asking, I'd like to be the conduit with the general public as well, you know.
And that's what we need. You know, I think that's really what we need. You know, we need somebody that's a little bit more attached, you know, instead of detached.
Yeah.
But the problem, I think, also is that, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Precinct 4 is the biggest footprint for all the commissioners in Montgomery County. It's huge.
Yeah, it is
you know?
huge.
And so there's a lot to do. When you think about all the road construction, all the development projects, drainage and everything else, I mean, it's going to be paper thin to have yourself available in all those areas.
Yeah.
You know, especially in first term and with the learning curve like you're going to have, it's going to be quite a challenge.
It'll be a big challenge.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying, you know, get the new energy, the new experience.
Yeah.
Get in there and make a big impact, do some good, and then we get this thing rolling in the right direction. And I think it's what we need around here.
Yeah.
Do you foresee any big changes in the existing taxes? Any rates or breaks going away, raising, lowering, redirected?
Not really. Like you said, the base is growing a lot every day. And as far as the school taxes, we're already maxed out.
Right.
So
Yeah, we really are.
no, we are. Yeah. They can't raise. That can't be raised any more than what it is already.
Yeah.
So I sit on a bond advisory committee over for Humble ISD, and so I'm kind of pretty in touch with what's going on with that, and I pay close attention. So I don't see where it would change.
And so we're maxed out on school taxes, but I wonder how much higher our property tax. Our property taxes here have really gone up a lot. But that's expected because so much has happened, you know?
Off the top of my head, we're somewhere in the middle of the road as far as taxes in the state, I believe.
Okay.
What I was reading the other day, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not too bad then. Okay. Any idea, just, and I know that you're not in the office, but any idea where you think maybe we should have some budget increases or budget decreases for that matter? Do you see any places where maybe spending isn't done the way you think it should be, or?
Yeah, lots. There's a lot. I think we could shuffle some of that money around, get more moved over into our road funds, and have it actually applied to the roads, and get a little more asphalt put down around here.
Yeah.
I know we've got a lot of county vehicles that are being bought on taxpayers' dime, brand new vehicles, mud tires, and off-road packages that go home every night, in front of the house folks and all through. So that's something I hadn't been happy about.
Right.
Okay.
Be making a big change on when I get in office, and just toys, what I think of as toys.
Right.
So get ready, because there'll be an auction.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right.
I don't know if we talked about it, but how would you address the individual municipalities within the precinct? And how do they play off each other?
Yeah, it's a really unique deal. So I think this is all part of Precinct 4, so we should try to help out where we can. And these different places, I guess we're talking about like Patton Village, Roman Forest.
Yeah, just the individual municipality, even
Yeah.
Splendora.
Splendora.
Yeah.
Blowing, inside the city of Splendora, blowing the whole wad. I think we should be on any kind of construction or drainage issues. I think we should be able to work with the county and squeeze that in, or do a barter system. We go take care of that, and for whatever it would have cost, we can do it cheaper than what they would have paid to have it done. So
Yeah. I hear a lot of stories about button heads, and then nothing gets done but a bunch of hurt feelings, and that doesn't solve anything. So
Right.
good deal on that.
So you think roads are pretty much the biggest challenge, I guess?
well, the growth, and
That would include the roads and the drainage.
Yeah, that'd be a little bit of everything.
Yep.
I mean, everything's an issue right now.
Right.
The way we're growing, everything's an
Growing
issue.
pains.
Yeah. Electrical
Yeah.
grid, everything.
Yeah.
So it's going to take everything, and a lot of long days.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I mean, what have you done career-wise up to this point?
Career-wise, after so I graduated from New Caney High School, went to school, got a business degree, and right after I got out of college, I've got a bit of an adventurous spirit, so I wanted to go work rigs and go see the world.
Okay.
And I hired on at an entry-level position as a roustabout.
Tough job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, if I want to make supervisor and run rigs, I want to have actually put my hands on and done the job before getting in and trying to hire in as a white collar and go in that route.
Yep.
So hired on, and I didn't go see the world at first. I was just stuck on a steel platform out in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah. The world was blue water.
Yeah. Part of the world, I guess.
I worked on a land rig out in Clodine, and the world was a bunch of scrub around me and a bunch of mean guys telling me what to do.
Yeah, the world's always been server rooms for me. So enclosed in a cold room. So,
But it was a great experience. Met a lot of wonderful people. Met probably the smartest people I've ever met, and just some of those old guys that work those rigs, and they are sharp.
yeah, the oil field's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. So I worked my way up out there. Ended up working on budgets and get into a management program. So where I got to jump around. I hired on normal and started roughnecking, and then got into the management program and got to move around to different positions. So I was working nonstop. I'd go 2 weeks on and then 2 weeks in the office, back to 2 weeks on. And
Wow.
it was
Yeah.
it was a lot of work. And in between there, it was going to schools constantly. So if I wasn't working a week in the office, it was taking a class. A lot of fun, like some of those old rig managers say, you're swinging that sledgehammer,
Yeah.
hit it how you live, hard and fast.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And that's how it was. It was a lot of hard work and a lot of time away. And I was telling that to me and the kids went and gave out pies to all the fire stations yesterday in the county for
Okay.
Thanksgiving. And I was
Well, they appreciated that.
trying to let them know, I spent a lot of time away. I wasn't a first responder, but spent a lot of time away, missed a lot of holidays, a lot of birthdays and stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
God bless our, emergency services and our,
Right. They're not getting rich doing it, but
Yeah.
they love doing it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all good people too. Yeah.
Yep, all of our cops. But so that was a lot of fun working the rigs, and then got some experience in inside sales and contracts and commercial management. Did that, and then transitioned over. That's where I really moved into the project management. So we'd do blowout preventers. The blowout preventer sits on the ocean floor. It's a electric over hydraulic valve, basically. It's huge, so that traps all the pressure. And I had worked as a subsea engineer offshore for a couple years prior to that. And so we would plan the turnaround. So we're over rigs that have $500,000 a day rates. So you're talking about pressure.
Yeah.
You know, because every day that's not latched up to a wellhead and you're not working, you know, you're losing that money. So
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
yeah, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So we would plan those turnarounds, and did that. Traveled to Singapore, Angola, Nigeria. Did jobs in Norway, Brazil, Newfoundland. Just traveled all over. Reactivated rigs here in the Gulf of Mexico, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You've done a lot in a young life. I would guess you to be about 35.
39 here for about another month.
Yeah, there you go.
So that chapter, and then during COVID, I had the opportunity to cash out. So was able to do that. Spent a little bit of time with the family and got my PMP.
Okay.
It's a project management professional accreditation, and I had kind of put it off because I'd been so busy with work, and I was a little bit intimidated because you've got to have thousands of man hours to even apply.
Right.
And it's a big application process, and did that, studied for it for a little while, and passed that and got that accreditation, and then started over at the school district, and I'm the project manager over maintenance over there. And so
Which school district?
Humble ISD.
Okay, cool.
So sit on the Citizens Bond Committee,
Okay.
Advisory Committee, and get to deal with a lot of public funds, public procurement. During all that time, I had started working on my graduate degree in construction science.
Okay.
So studying the project management styles, project delivery, all the stuff that I've done, but just more on the land side and contracts. So I've taken a big interest in it. And
So when you talk about drainage, you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and all that stuff
Yeah.
falls right into it, so that's good.
Budgets and the whole bit.
yeah, so when I'm telling y'all I'm running for county commissioner, it's not me thinking, oh, I'm just a New Caney boy, guys. I'm part of the club. Elect me. That's not what's happening here. I've got a lot of experience from around the world. I've worked with every race, color, creed, you name it. And we always delivered, and we delivered on time, and had a lot of fun doing it. So, and I'm wanting to put that experience to work for Precinct 4.
Cool.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
had a lot of fun doing it. Got 4 kids while I squeezed 4 kids.
You got 4 kids?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
What, just out of curiosity, what are their ages?
So 3, 6, 7, and 14.
Man.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a handful right there.
Yeah. And I guess since I'm talking about that, you know, been coaching softball and baseball for probably close to 10 years now. We won the first we brought home the first Little League Dixie World Series to EMC this last summer ever.
Okay.
And
Great.
that was a lot of fun, yeah.
Hats off to you, man. I had a stepkid that I coached his assistant coach, his Little League football team. Never again. Never again. The stories you hear are true. The kids are great. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Good luck, buddy. Well, you've been doing it for 10 years, so you got something going that I didn't.
Oh, yeah. It's fun, you know, and the kids, they want to learn. They listen. The kids need.
Oh, yeah, they were always great.
They respond to the running and the discipline, not the yelling discipline or the parental type discipline. The running and, you know, taking the time to pop a knee and talk to them and explain what we're doing. And I have a lot of fun with it. The kids have fun, and that's what's important, you know, just trying to give back. And
That's
be
exactly
involved
what's
with-
important.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I love walking around, being in the community or being somewhere, and the kids run up and give me a hug, and they remember us. And my kids got, of course, lifelong friends out of it. I've got lifelong friends from it, from growing up playing around here, you know. like I mentioned, I grew up over in Peach Creek in New Caney, so it made more sense back in the late 80s and early 90s to drive over here to Tram Road and play football in Splendora than going to New Caney. So I played Little League football here and then baseball in New Caney, and still friends with a lot of those guys.
Yeah, it's a brotherhood.
It's a brotherhood. I had an absolutely great upbringing in this area. I've had offers to move around the world. I've thought about moving other places, and when it was all said and done from all the traveling, I'd always make a joke because we live in Porter now. I annexed a little piece of Porter from New Caney, so I always say I live in New Caney.
Yeah,
there you go.
But I love this place, and that's what it boils down to.
It's a good county. There's a lot of good people out here.
Yeah,
it's changed so much, though. It's almost unusual to look at. I never thought Community Drive would be 99. When that happened, I was like, it's not going to be that big. Then they started building it. I was like, damn, this is going to be pretty big.
Yeah, pretty tall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it worked out.
I was thinking the same thing the other day we were driving past it. And, I was thinking about that old bridge that just went over there, and it was nothing but woods on the other side.
I still have a picture of that somewhere. I took a picture. My wife said, you need to take a picture because it'll be gone. And I took a picture when we were cruising down 59 one time. And I still got it.
Yeah, I think about it often.
So what would you consider to be your strongest strength as a candidate for this race? And I know that's a rotten question to ask somebody.
That's okay. We love the rotten ones. I'd say the energy. I'd say my age. I'd say my involvement in the community. I would say my experience, my qualifications. I don't think we've had a commissioner over here this young. I don't think we've had a commissioner with these kind of qualifications. Mm-hmm. And I think we need to expect more and hold our elected officials to a higher standard.
Right.
So
at least accountable.
Yeah, definitely accountable. I'm big on accountability.
So we've got a question here, and I hesitate to ask it because I think I already know the answer. It's probably too early for any of that, but here it is. Any additional political aspirations?
No, not really. This is about as high as I'd want to go. And I like county commissioner because it's hands-on. I look at it as a hands-on position. I can get out and drive out, shake hands, talk to homeowners, figure out what the problem is, come up with a solution, plan it out, and attack it. So, and I think that's what's going to really help us when I get in there is all the planning and staging out. And we're not going to worry about just work orders or one area. We're gonna fix it. We're going in with a fix it mentality.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, back to your question. No, just county commissioner.
Gotcha.
Cool.
What else, Hank?
I wanted to get back to one thing, and I wanted to take a look real quick.
While you're doing that,
okay,
I'm going to do a little procurement here.
Might as well. Where was this at? Yeah, okay, so back to connecting with the public. So, since I was going to have you in here, I had conversations. I always have conversations with other people and kind of vet the guy before he comes in and such. And in one of those conversations, I had learned that there's a lot of our even registered voters out here who really don't understand what a county commissioner does and really don't understand the scope of the job and even the footprint and all that. So back to connecting with the public. Do you think that during your term do you think it'd be through updating the county's website, or do you think you would do press releases, or what would be the best method by which you could help to inform the average guy? Because that's the hard guy to get to.
Yeah.
The guy that's on the internet all the time or working all the time. Or how do you get to the average guy and let him know, hey, I'm your county commissioner and this is what I'm doing. And yeah, I know you flooded a couple of years ago, but you won't now because we have this plan that we're going to work over the next 4 years.
Yep. So just to rehash what you're saying, you're absolutely right. I don't think most people know what a commissioner is, what a commissioner does, much less who the commissioner is.
Even who the commissioner is. Yeah.
So I think it just comes down to being more involved in the community, Hank. Being out there, shaking hands, the press releases. Of course, of course, Facebook is a huge platform, but instead of just updates, talking with it, giving the update yourself, and being on site. And I think that's what it boils down to. So, like I said, I grew up around here, and growing up with my stepdad working for the county, these guys knew everybody. It's because they were out. They were out working on it. They were shaking hands with the people and letting them know, hey, this is how we're going to fix it. This is what we got to do. And it's an old-fashioned approach with a lot of new age technology. And
I like it.
And I think the energy, I go back to bringing in the new energy and getting it done, to just power through it. But this is a big county. It's a very big footprint.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
And there's a lot going on.
Yeah. Kingwood to Cleveland, over to 45, and I don't think most people realize that.
I think it'd be an easier job if there wasn't so much growth, because you could just go in and set things up and then just run that standard play, for 4 years. But
you could just deal with what is, not what is going to be, which is up in the air.
Yeah. And then just even understanding the growth, it's going to be a hard thing, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's a new subdivision popping up everywhere you look.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Going to need new schools.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The schools, that's a big deal. The infrastructure, a lot of the infrastructure to the schools we have now, and just some of the area. Well, better than anybody right here in Twindora, the traffic is rough. I have people bring it up all the time.
I can't believe it. Yeah. I never thought I'd see the day, because when we first moved out here, Tram Road, you'd be lucky to see 5 cars a day. And if you saw 5 cars in a day, it was a busy day. And now it's 5 cars a minute. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's really crazy. Almost makes me feel a little uncomfortable, because usually with that kind of growth, the crime is right behind it, So, I mean, it's only going to be a matter of time before we're all affected by that kind of thing too.
Yeah.
And I know that won't be within the scope of your work, but you will be kind of overseeing the police departments as well. So that'll be something you'll have to oversee too.
Yeah, it's definitely scary, especially, like I said, a father of 4 kids. And
yeah.
But there's a lot of kids. It's not just my kids I'm worried about. It's the whole county, just kids in general.
Yeah.
And it makes me nervous. 59's a pipeline that runs all the way south, and I think the constables department and the sheriff department do a good job of keeping us safe and nabbing the bad guys around here. But we got to be vigilant. Just as citizens.
Give them what they
need
to do their job.
Right.
Yeah, and keep an eye out. So it's a scary deal, but I'm behind them, and we'll do whatever we got to do to support those guys.
Fantastic. Okay, so how can people find out about your campaign? You got a website and all that?
Yeah, so the website's Matt Gray, so MattGray PCT4.com.
Okay.
So it's for Matt Gray Precinct4.com.
Okay.
You can find me on Facebook, Matt Gray, for County Commissioner Precinct 4. Should be pretty easy to find, pop up. Go give it a like, give it a share, give me some comments.
Cool.
I do my best to respond as quickly and timely as possible.
Yeah, it says your average is an hour.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. Yeah.
I'm not afraid to field the questions, just like anything else. If I don't know the answer right then, we'll find out and we'll figure out a solution and get something back out.
Do you have any public engagements that are coming up where people can come out and meet you?
So we're planning some of that stuff right now. It's
holiday season,
it's
so it
holiday
sucks.
season, yeah.
Yeah.
I figure it'll pick up big time after the first of the year. Follow the Facebook page, and we're posting engagements right there, and we'll be creating the event. So you guys please check it out, and we'll update the website as well. And definitely want to meet everybody. I want to earn your trust, earn your vote.
There you go.
And let's get it done.
And you are a Republican, correct?
I am a Republican.
Awesome.
That is correct.
Okay, good. Well, Matt, I appreciate you coming in.
Yes, sir. I'm proud to be here.
And taking the time. And, I think everybody's going to go to the site and check it out. And hopefully you'll get out there and shake a bunch of hands. It's going to be a busy time for you until Election Day.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, March is right around the corner.
Yeah.
Sneak right up on us.
It's going to be forever from now, but it's also going to be tomorrow, too.
Man, it's going quick.
So there you go. All right. Are you accepting any kind of campaign donations or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So on the website, if you guys feel compelled or someone feels compelled to donate, there's a little link right there. You can click on it.
Okay.
And or if you'd rather reach out personally, you can reach out. That's my phone number. There's an email address on there. Give me a call. I love to meet you. Not afraid to ride out and talk
Great.
and do either or, whatever's easiest.
Fantastic.
Great.
Anything else?
I think we covered everything. Matt Gray, it was great to meet you. Best of luck to you.
Yeah.
And win or lose, I'd like to have you back on.
I'd enjoy that. I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to talk about the experience,
Yeah.
because this is, no matter what happens, this is going to be a good experience. It'll be a positive thing.
Yeah.
So
I've talked to a lot of guys who've won and who haven't won, and
Yeah.
you figure out a lot about yourself. You figure out a lot about the people around you,
Yeah.
and you're a better man for it.
Everything's a learning experience, isn't it?
Yeah, no doubt, guys.
All right, well, guys, there you go. Matt Gray, Precinct 4 County Commissioner. He's running hard. He's got some good ideas. Go to his website, check it out. Honest, has a lot of integrity and good work ethic. And so we look forward to seeing how this works out. For Mark Hogan, I'm Hank Vatt. This is Hank's Think Tank, and we're out.